beating guys based off of sheer hunger, passion. So just in the last fight, I wanted to compete and improve myself as a boxer. And it wasn't good enough. Tonight wasn't good enough. But you can see I adapted, I made the changes needed to give him a more competitive fight. It wasn't enough, but I left everything in the gym. If I would have left everything in the ring, I would have won. I definitely pushed myself in training camp to make sure the fight was more competitive tonight.
AJ, answer.
I left everything in the gym. If I would have left everything in the ring, I would have won. I definitely pushed myself in training camp to make sure the fight was more competitive tonight.
What's good, family? Shout out to your man, the YB. Number one sugar mama in the game right now, Lizzie Corinne, for coming through and boosting up its coin. So we just heard there from your man's Anthony Johnson. I mean, look at this guy. One of the most buffest dudes I've ever seen. Dude is buff, yeah, but he's hollow. I told you before, go check out Dave Allen. Dave Allen exposes AJ. He is a hollow cabal ting, 100%. They've pumped him up. He's full of helium air, yeah, hollow. Nothing. There's no substance to him. That's how USYK was able to ragdoll him onto the ropes with his knees giving way after Fernando pushed his dinner back in for him. Yeah, nothing will give a man. Nothing makes a man's knees weaker than some neck zesty hanging out his backside. Big facts. That'll make any man's. Listen, if some don starts pushing your prostate in, your leg's gonna be super duper weak. Yeah? So it's no shock that AJ can't half stand up when he's in there with middleweight. AJ, you're supposed to be in there moshing, and you're in there and your knees are buckling. That's why, listen, you best believe. That's why we ain't seen none of Fernando. Fernando knows not to come in my way. He knows that now. He been known that. Yeah? I ain't trying to see a little bit of Fernando. Anyway, we just heard there from Johnston, the world's #1 premier weight pumper. And I'm shocked. The way he says it with such pride. I left it all in the gym. If I'd have fought how I fought, if I'd have fought how I trained, I'd have won. What do you think this is? He says that like he's proud. I've been saying for a long time, AJ's a gym fighter. Or AJ's turned into a gym fighter. He loves to train. How long have I been telling you that? How long have I been telling you? I believe AJ loves to train, but he doesn't love to really get stuck in. Training is a complete different thing. People who box will know that there's certain boxers, yeah, who are just amazing. Floyd Mayweather would talk about this. Floyd Mayweather would talk about how there's dudes, yeah, who are all-time great Hall of Famer level in the sparring thing. But under the lights, they just can't get it together. That's in boxing in particular. It's a well-renowned phenomenon. People who just can't get right when it counts. They just can't string it together. Well-renowned principle. They're called gym fighters. Someone like David Price comes to mind. People will tell you, we've heard all the rumours, David Price will roll you up and smoke on you in sparring. But when it comes to the lights turning on, he shrivels up. Conversely, someone like Tyson Fury, we've heard of Tyson Fury being turned over in training, but when the lights go on, he can perform. The way he says it with such pride. I left it all in the gym. What good's that? What good is that? Or after the first USYK fight. I can't wait to go back to the gym and start training. Who gives a fuck? Listen, AJ, who gives a fuck, yeah, about what you're going to do in training? Who gives a fuck about what you've been doing in training? What good's that? I'm shocked that, imagine them words coming out of your mouth. You've just blown a whole bunch of UK fans William Hill's pack. AJ smoked through more of the YB's William Hill's pack. Smoked on it and blew it. And after blowing people's back that you promoted, no one didn't ask you to promote William Hill, but after promoting William Hill, you're telling us that you could have won if you was fighting tonight, how you trained. What's that about? Where are they doing that? Yeah, well, if I'd have brought my training performance, I'd have won. The fuck? Why didn't you do that then? Why in the 12 rounds didn't your team remind you, AJ? Remember how good you were in training. Now's the time to implement. AJ's team sucks. Bottom line. And to be quite frank, his mentality also sucks. He doesn't have a winner's mentality anymore. This clone doesn't have a winner's mentality. A winner's mentality is to win. USYK said it best. USYK said at the end of the 9th round, he saw AJ getting a bit of a lob on. He saw AJ's wick going like this. Yeah? AJ was getting turned, but at the end of the day, AJ was getting turned on. He thought there was something sweet in front of him at the end of the 9th. And USYK's winner mentality said, no, I'm going to knock Johnson's head straight back down. And that's what he did. USYK's best round was on from then. AJ peaked at 9. USYK built on 10, 11, 12. Oops. That there is championship mentality. How do you perform in the clutch moment? In the clutch, AJ, he fold. And that's why I'm convinced this is not the same AJ. Back in the day, AJ used to be one of them super athletes. He used to be one of them clutch athletes. Think about the Klitschko fight. Think about the Dillian White fight. A clutch athlete is an athlete who gets it done. In them moments where things get sticky, a clutch athlete finds a way. Yeah, finds a way to get it done before the clock runs out. That's what a clutch athlete is. They create them special moments. Yeah? AJ used to be in that kind of realm. But to be quite frank, much like Conor McGregor, he also used to be considered a clutch athlete. Someone who could, you know what I mean, just make it happen. Obviously, he fell off bad. He fell off super duper bad as well. AJ and Conor McGregor really are very similar in that regard. They both peaked and then fell off hard. Honestly, AJ and McGregor's have got two of the most vicious and violent fall-offs I've ever seen. I've never seen two super athletes fall off so hard before. Completely fall off. Difference is, at least Conor McGregor's got an excuse. Yeah, Conor McGregor, he loves the bag. When I say the bag, I mean the big white one full of powder. He a sniff fiend. He a raving fiend for the sniff. That's his excuse. AJ, he in the gym 24/7. The fuck? What's your excuse? AJ is so bad. AJ is so confused. He's actually using his training as an excuse now. Oh, if I'd have performed how I performed in training, I'd have won. Why the fuck didn't you do that then? That's what the people need to know. That's what there needs to be an inquest into. If Eddie Hearn was half sharp, he'd be leading an inquest right now into what AJ really means. I'm sorry, if I've got $100 million athlete in front of me and he tells me he could have got it done, or if he was fighting tonight, how he was training, he could have get it done, I'm running some sort of investigation. It's going to be the Eddie Hearn Commission, and we're going to look into how that's possible. But Eddie Hearn's been way too laissez-faire with it, yeah? Way too loosey-goosey, just going with the flow. He hasn't really been acting like he's got $100 million interest in front of him. And that's why AJ now has fell off. Too loosey-goosey. And to be quite frank, his performances have reflected that. Look at AJ's performances. Loosey-goosey. He turned up and just vibe with it. Which is great. If you can find yourself into that Zen mode, it's great. But you ain't a Zen. I'm sorry, AJ is not a Zen fighter. He don't go in there and just work out what needs to be done. He go in there and his ass go flappy bird. Yeah? Big facts. I honestly, after hearing him say his training, he performed better in training, I ain't trying to see no more from this man. Because the way I put my coin on, I honestly wish I could call up William Hill right now and tell him, oh, you know what, William Hill, the $500 I put in, those $500 I put in, those was training bucks. Yeah, so how about you refund my $500 and because they was training bucks? That's what I'd love to hear. But guess what? They ain't doing no refunds about training. For this man to sit up there now and tell us that training this, training that, why weren't you saying that before the fight? You know what? I'm wicked in training, but I ain't really feeling it. My ass is a bit twitchy. I think I've left the fight in training. Why didn't you been say that? Save your peoples. Instead, you gas the ting up. I'm pissed off. Big pissed off. And by the way, Johnson, dollar MPACA. Yeah? Dollar MPACA. You best send my cash up through. $1,500. Send it through right now, you clown. Yeah? Send them coins in, plus interest. Make it 2 bags. I want 2 bags. Johnson, you owe me 2 bags. Big facts. Yeah? That's what you need to do right now. Don't focus on nothing else. Focus on sending your man Nawabi bag ASAP. I ain't playing no more games with your sorry buff art. Look at this buff dude. Look how buff this dude is. He's super buff and super hollow. Hollow looking ass clown.